Welcome to Yeshivas Bein Hazmanim. We have quite a crowd here. Are you guys okay with English? I could do Hebrew, but I can't do jokes in Hebrew. But some people actually think that my Hebrew is funnier than my English. Okay, so we're gonna go for a little Hebrew. Okay, so we're gonna do Hilchos Dal and Minim. The halachas of Lulav and Esther. I lost my voice a little bit over Yom Kippur, but we'll make it work. There's two ways that I prepare a shir. Two ways that sometimes I go sit down and prepare properly, and sometimes I rely on siyata d'shmaya. This is one of those siyata d'shmaya type of moments. I was asked last night to give this shir. I finally got a chance to sit down and prepare at around 2:30 in the morning, and I was able to sit down for like a half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever. But we'll see what we can do here. I wrote down a bunch of stuff, so we'll see. Hopefully it works. Okay, so let's get started. Well, we'll start like the way that the Shulchan Aruch starts in Taf Reish Mem Hey. It starts off with the halachas of Lulav. So, what are you looking for in a Lulav? Let's do it quick, but we could get a lot accomplished. So, what are you looking for in a Lulav? What's a good Lulav? What's a bad Lulav? So, first rule of a Lulav is it needs to be a Lulav. So, not everything that's green and long is a Lulav. So there's something floating around called a canary. So Ramosha Feinstein, some of the places actually allowed this canary branch. Ramosha Feinstein, oh cool, I had to plug it before. Ramosha Feinstein held that a canary branch is a hockey stick. So imagine a guy with a hockey stick and an esrog with kavonas. That's what you're doing with the canary branch, according to Ramosha Feinstein. So you don't want a canary branch. How do you know if it's a canary branch, not a lulav? So a canary branch, it's hard to know. Definitely if it says in it, lulav canary, don't buy it. But, and there is such a thing, by the way. But it's generally a shorter tree, so the leaves are shorter. So these guys, which we got over here, they're going to be not as long and wrapped over. They're generally going to be shorter leaves, and that would be what a canary would be, those shorter leaves. Okay. The next thing that we to discuss, which is very common, if it has kara. See like the brown stuff? So some of these kara ones, they have brown all covering the top. The entire top is covered in brown. Now what's going on under the brown? I don't know. Neither does anybody else know what's going on under the brown. Is that lulav good? So actually, al pi roiv, it's good. Al pi chazaka, it's good. Because generally we assume that whatever's under there is good. You don't know what's going on. So we could assume that it is good. Now, is that a good thing to rely on? Do you want to get a lulav like that with brown covering the top? So this is a old fight, very old fight. The general Litvish B'nai Torah Mahalach is that we do not like it. Would you buy a hat in the hat box without opening it up and looking how the hat looks? Why are you going to get a lulav without being able to see what the tip is? You wouldn't want it. There are certain Hasidim that prefer kara. I think certain Sephardim also that prefer kara, that prefer covered, and certain, probably not Moroccans. Moroccans usually do stuff more like Ashkenazim. I don't know exactly what they hold in this, but probably like the more intense Sephardim than Moroccans. So. L'maisa, they're going to say two things. They're going to say this is its natural way. Generally, we're going to see when things are in their natural way, that's usually a meila. And if you consider the kara part, that brown stuff, to be not like a hefsek, and that's closed, so now you know you have a little close to the top. So there is, depending on how you look at that brown stuff, that could be an advantage, and therefore, if it's not your minhag, probably stick with the regular good green closed to the top that we're going to talk about in a second. But if it is your minhag, there's definitely reason to do it. Okay, next. What exactly are we looking for? So most of the hak that we talk about in a lulav is about the tiyomis. What's a tiyomis? So by the way, I asked Binyamin to go go in front of the gra and ask him, get me the worst lulav you could find. Get me something, I want a puzzle, give me puzzle. And we'll see what we get. Because I want to tell you a chiddush. It's not so easy to find the puzzle lulav. There are other things that we can find puzzle very easily. Yeah, it's harder to find a puzzle lulav than to find the aleph lulav. So it's you should see. You could find it if you know what you're looking for, but it's lulav is not that hard. To find kosher, us good Jews, we want to find the most mahudr lulav that we could, and that's a minute in Klal Yisrael to look for the most mahudr as possible. Continue, find green to the closed to the top, best, but that's what we want. But pastel mamish, it's a little difficult. Okay, so we're gonna pastel it. Or maybe we're probably gonna pastel this. Did I give away that it's kosher? Okay, so the ta'imus, see these like three middle tallest ones over here? So we're focusing on this middle guy over here. This middle guy is where it's going to be all the hot. See how I know you probably can't see from where you are, but they're all double leaved. We have all these bunch of double leaves, and the middle one is the most important. This is the one that we want it to be closed, preferably. We want it not to be dried out as much as possible, and we want it to be straight. And we're going to discuss in a second all the things. So what if it's open? So this one actually, in terms of its meilas, this is completely closed. So you can't see from there, but this middle thing is completely closed, and therefore that's fine. But how open is it allowed to be? We paskin that it's as long as it's roiv closed, it's fine. You know what roiv closed means? That means, I sit like this and look, I take out my magnifying glass and I have fun. You know why I use magnifying glass? A couple of reasons. One is I want to look really cool and stark. The other one is I want to have fun. And the third one is once in a while you need it to check if something's chaser. Or you want to check if the dot is brown or black on something, whatever. But primarily the first two reasons. So over here, you see guys looking with a magnifying glass over there. But kosher is, as long as it's roiv closed, it's kosher. You know what roiv means? If that was open from here to there, it would be kosher. Do I need a magnifying glass to see that? I hope not, or you may be blind. Yeah? So, it's, Lamaisa, you can't find a chinuch set that's that open. And there's some poskim, which we don't actually hold of, that if it's a tefach, that you can find a tefach, but you're going to have to look. It won't be very easy to find that lulav with a tefach. So if you found the lulav with a tefach, you got a winner. Half, you're not even going to find that, unless somebody opened it up for the fun of it. Fine. So that is the Neklabat. Yehudim, we're kasherim, we're good people. We look all the way to the top. We want it as closed as possible. But that's because we like Yidurim, we like Chumras, we like a Priyat Tzadar, but that's not actually required in halacha. And I'll tell you another chiddush. Let's say it was open more than a tefach. What's the psul? That's a psul of what we call kicha tama, taking a complete lulav. And on the second day and on, it's still kosher. So even if you were being machmir, that you don't want a tefach open. Let's say, after the first day, all the kavanas, you and Tzimmeyer, and you were shaking back and forth, and by the time you were done with your shaking, it was open a tefach after the first day, with all your kavanas ta'iris. The Maisa, it's still kosher for day 2. Fine. Now let's keep on going to what some of the other issues are. Now, there is such a thing, this could happen, but once again, you have to look for it, and you have to know how to find it. Where it's not a double leaf in the middle, it's a single leaf. If you found one with a single leaf, bingo, you found the puzzle one. So you did a very good job. You found the puzzle one. It's not so easy. Congratulations. What if the middle one, see over here, the middle one is taller than the ones on the side of it? Right? The middle one is the tallest. What if the middle one was shorter than the two on the side? So the stipler loved those 11. He said that's great. You know why? This middle guy, he has 2 bodyguards on the side. Nobody's messing with him. That guy is not going to get open because he has a bodyguard on the right, a bodyguard on the left. He's like this 5'5" guy. He has a 6'2" bodyguards totally blocking him, and therefore he's completely protected, and therefore it's great. L'maisa, Roiv people do not go with the stapler. Now, I'm not saying it's puzzle, it's kosher, but it doesn't look as pretty. And since it doesn't look as pretty, it might be chasarn and hiddur, and therefore, if you're a stapler nick, then go for that. Find it. If you're not a stapler nick, probably not. Fine. Let's keep it on Yavash. So what's Yavash? How do we paskin? Well, paskin if its roiv of it is dried out. That's also pretty bad. That's if you get your lulav from last year. You know what I'm saying? So you could find such a thing, but that's also it's not that's not going to be normal. However, there are those that are machmer that if the tip is dried out, it's like some form of a siman that the whole thing is dried out. Not that I fully understand this, and therefore the lulav is a problem if the tip is dried out. Now I don't know how far this goes. I don't really fully understand because most lulavim the tip is slightly dried out. Like this lulav, the tip is definitely dried out, but that's pretty normal. Most lulavim the tips are dried out. So I don't know how far to take that idea. It's not how we paskin. However, in terms of the world of hiddur, this is a big difference between a real mahudur lulav and not as mahudur lulav is whether it is green to the top or does it turn yellow and brown. This guy turns yellow and brown, so that's not as cool. Okay, this would make this like not aleph, but it's God's fine. It's still kosher. Okay, what else do we have? So, niktaim. So what do you do if your lulav's too tall, and you can't fit into the case? So you decide you want to cut over here. Are you allowed to? Yeah, no problem. How do you think this used to be attached to a tree? They could have cut it here, and they could have cut it here, right? Or they could cut it here. It's not niktaim. That's fine. If you have to cut it here, if you don't want it to still be attached from the tree, very annoying to do Hashanas. Hashana Rabbah when it's attached to the tree, right? So, you got to cut it, right? But if you decide, here, let me cut over here, that's going to passel your lulav. That's going to be niktaim. That's going to be passel. And if you somehow have some chashash that a little bit's cut off on the top, that would also make it niktaim. Okay, so you don't want to cut off on the top. I actually don't have such a bekias on whatever. That's the whole normal. Okay. Fine. What else do we have? Something called hemnik. Okay, this you could happen. Hemnik is when should I passel this? Hemnik is when the things are facing different directions on the top. Sometimes you have this where they're playing for different teams. They're going up, and then all of a sudden, and now the right guy is on the left, and the left guy is on the right. So. Now that's a psul of Lakikatama. So for the first day, that's going to be psul. Now I don't know, I'm not so clear myself, I'll have to be honest, but if it's a teeny little drop, is that a problem? The chayra, if you see it from over here, don't get that lulav. If you see it like this, and then you see, so that's, that's, if you see like that, so it's not really a problem, but maybe don't go for that lulav. But if from over here, you can't see it, it's probably fine. But once again, this is what it's worth looking for. That's one of the things that's worth looking for. And make sure your lulav's not crisscrossed, because if your lulav's crisscrossed like that, it's not going to be as lechatchila. Next, hiddur, which is perfectly straight. Now, if it's like hockey stick left or hockey stick right, that's going to be puzzle, because that is really ugly. If it's really ugly, that's a problem. But if it's like, see, this guy is like not perfect. This guy's hanging out to the right. So this makes this guy not so geschmack. It doesn't make him puzzle, but it makes it there's not a mahudur lulav because this guy takes a right turn. But to make a mamish puzzle, it has to make a right turn like that. It has to be like, what's going on here? Is that a lulav or a hockey stick? Oh, it's a hockey stick? Hockey stick puzzle? Broomstick, you're good, yeah? So that would be a psul as well. There's something also called knubbel. That's like a Yiddish word, because I don't know why they don't have Hebrew words for this stuff. They probably do actually, but a knubbel is when it's like bent over the top. Okay, so the Rush says, oh, that's the most mahudr type of lulav. Why does the Rush say that? I have no idea. But the Ran says it's pasul. The Maisa, stay away.
And if the top is only to one side?
Only, what do you mean by like this?
No, only the top.
Only the top is bent over?
The spin, yeah.
So if the top thing is bent over, once again, if it's a teensy drop, it's fine. If it looks like it made a right turn, then that's a problem.
No, not right turn, only like the spin.
So yeah, so that if that's what it is, so it's no longer olive, but it's still going to be kosher. Okay. Huh?
What if only the side ones are reversed?
The side ones, we don't worry. Really, we only really care of the top three and the focus on the middle one, top middle. All right, shkai guys, that's what we got for today.